Another free agency, another year where the Lakers get no big names in free agency. It's a good time to be anybody but a Lakers fan. Klay
Yep.
Thompson going to the Mavs. Real quick before we get into the rest of the video, our last video has passed over 1,000 views, a first on this channel. Thank you all so much to everybody who watched that. Go check it out if
Thank
you
you.
haven't. Big thanks. We're on the up and up. We appreciate it. But anyways, PJ, talk to me about free agency so far.
Free agency, it started pretty slow. I mean, everyone was expecting Paul George to leave. Clay obviously said I wanted to go, and I mean, so far we got some interesting moves. A lot of interesting moves. Before the trade, I mean, before the free agency started, we got Dejounte Murray going to the Pelicans
Mm-hmm.
for Larry Nance Jr., Dyson Daniels, and some picks.
Mm-hmm. I love
Like
that one. I think.
that was a good one. A
I mean
good
that
fit.
it was like the appetizer.
It was the appetizer. It was a good fit. In my head, I was telling Jacob off cam, like, bro, like, it's kind of weird for me to see either CJ or Dejounte play point guard because they're known as the second guy. So whatever the Portland coaches make, someone's playing point guard for that team, and we're gonna see more alley oops for Zion.
I have been, well, I'm not gonna say adamant because I've kind of kept it to myself, but I am not a huge fan of CJ McCollum's game.
No,
And if they can trade him for a a true point guard, whatever, just somebody that can be a little bit more focused on passing and playmaking than scoring, we might be onto something. But for now, it's still a cool trade. I still expect Brandon Ingram or CJ or both, I don't know, to get traded. I'm curious what this front office is gonna do because they're
yeah,
swinging.
they
They're
are.
swinging.
They're moving.
And I think it's funny how I said this to you, but I think it's funny how you keep preaching for the Stars to go to the East to make the East stronger, and then the Hawks just traded one of the better players in the East back to the West.
Yeah.
So the rich are getting richer.
Which I mean, we got to start back on East.
Talk about it.
We got Paul George back with the in the East, and not back with the Sixers. He's back in the East. He started as the East in on the Pacers. Got traded. Apparently, he wanted to play with LeBron, but then he got traded to the Thunder. Um, After that, Paul George played with the Clippers. Got traded. Him and Shy got traded, and we got Shy on the Thunder. Amazing player now.
Mm-hmm.
Clippers just didn't work out. Injuries,
Yeah.
just shitload of injuries, bad knees, bad legs, whatever you want to say.
Bad luck. Yeah. And I've seen people pull up that graphic a lot of what the Clippers gave up for Paul George, which was like Shea, Gallinari, and like a shit ton of picks. But you know what?
And those shit ton of picks worked out. I mean, like, I guess you can say that trade is kind of like when KG Paul Pierce got moved to the Nets and the Celtics got the Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, the whole team, the one that made championships. So
But
who knows? Thunder
people,
could be a championship caliber team one day.
and people are calling it, a fleece because of how the Clippers, that Clippers era turned out between Kawhi and Paul George. But if you remember back then, Kawhi and Paul George, when that trade happened, I still remember that night because Waj dropped the bomb at like 2 a.m. or some shit. I still
Yeah.
remember like that. Like that was supposed to be a really nasty duo back then. Like back when their knees were still intact and shit. Like that. That was
I
a
don't think
team,
it.
bro. That was a
I,
duo.
I don't. Yeah, it would have been nice. I mean, I don't think their knees were still intact because Kawhi still had bad knees in the Spurs.
No, yeah, but Paul George also is.
Paul George, he
I mean,
stepped his leg in 2014. Like,
they both they both were just like it wasn't that bad. It was never that bad until they got to the Clippers. Like they always
Yeah,
had problems, but then they got to the Clippers, and then it was like every single season, it was like some shit was up.
it's that Clippers curse, bro. It
Hey,
it happens.
we've been preaching that one for a while.
I mean, you definitely from San Diego to LA
San Diego
never works
sports.
out.
Hey, if you're still linked to San Diego sports, you're cooked. You're
Yeah,
never winning
definitely.
shit. You're never winning
I
shit.
mean, they came back with us with the G League team. If you
Hey,
want to count Oceanside and San Diego, sure.
hey, we pulling up. But we're talking about the past. Let's talk about the future.
Talk about
So
the future.
so
Let's
this
what's going on, Jacob?
so
Any what was your favorite one besides the one that we have spoke about? Is it
uh
Klay to the Mavs?
I'll think on that. But while I'm thinking, let's talk about. I do want to talk about the Sixers because we mostly talked about, you know, Paul George's failures on on the Clippers. Let's talk about the Sixers because are they contenders? Like how serious are they? Like
On paper, they sound like contenders. I mean, obviously, like
yeah, yeah.
the huge meme out there is saying that once we reach the playoffs, only one player's gonna be playing, and that's Tyrese Maxey.
I,
100%.
there, I saw
100%.
I saw
I
one
agree with
post.
that.
I saw one
My bad. Keep on
post.
going.
Oh, you're good. I saw one post. It was like, who's stopping this team? And it was those three players. And then someone reposted it, and they circled Embiid's knee. They circled Paul George's knee. I'm
His
like,
injuries.
hey, bro, hey, that's like it's jokes, but I mean, history is talking, bro. But I do like what the Sixers are doing. They signed Kelly Oubre back. They,
Yep.
obviously they got Paul George. They signed Andre Drummond. So they're creating a little roster over there. I do like what they're
Uh,
doing. But hey, if we're hating on Embiid, I'm gonna keep hating on on Embiid. I'm gonna keep doing
keep
it.
on hating.
I'm gonna keep hating. They still losing in the second round. I don't care. They still losing in the second
I
round.
mean,
It don't
Paul
matter to me.
George. I mean, the most he's been to is the Eastern Conference Finals, but that's against Brown in Miami.
That was bro.
Uh,
The other thing that was killing me, people were like, it was a Sixers fan. They were like, I can't believe the league let us get this demon, and it was like a Paul George highlight reel. And
yeah.
then somebody was like, "Nah, this is musty. They got oh, who was it? I remember, but it was like, nah, bro, this is from like a decade ago. This is not the same dude." And it was like, who was it? I'm gonna just say it. It was like they got Jared Sullinger getting minutes in this video, bro. Like this is
Oh
not.
yeah.
I remember who it was. It was some old, but it was an old ass name. It was like, bro,
On the
these.
Pacers,
Yeah, it was just like some
Danny
old ass.
Granger.
No, I mean it was even old. It was like a no name old player. Like it was some like a deep cut. I mean, I'm gonna try to find it, but
You're
yeah,
good.
I don't know. Paul
I mean,
George obviously not the same person, but
I would like to see a Sixers versus Bucks in the playoffs. I want to see Dame bye
I,
bye again.
I would like to see
And
Dame play more than one series. That would be fun.
100%. I want to see Dame and Giannis play again.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like it's gonna be better this year. I mean, they were figuring it out in the first season. The ball where the ball belongs to in their hands.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they just forget about it and try to move the ball more. If not, I mean, they just got Delon Wright. Hopefully, he's a good point guard piece for this Bucks team.
Yeah. He'd be a good defender for sure, at least.
Yeah,
At least.
more backcourt defense. I love that.
Yeah, I found it. It was Jared Sullinger that was in the video, and it was
Oh
like,
damn!
this is like old ass footage, bro. Like this is not, this is not the same guy you're hyping up right now. But yeah, Paul George. I think the fit is good, and we keep talking about how weak the East is. I think they're comfortably in the top four. We could
Yeah, they're
debate
comfortable.
the top three if we wanna, if we wanna have a Mikal Bridges conversation. I don't know how
I
much
mean,
we
it
actually.
depends.
I don't know how much we talked about it, but that is a thing that happened.
Well, yeah, Mikal Bridges on the next. It's huge because you got the boys back together. I mean, if you want to throw in Eric Pascal for like a fucking vet minimum or some shit, um, that team could potentially be top four. It Probably is top four. I don't know any other teams.
in the
There's
in the East.
Celtics, there's Sixers, there's the
Yeah,
Bucks,
yeah,
the Knicks,
yeah.
and if you want to say the Cavs, you can say the fucking Cavs.
They're
If you
definitely
want to say the Magic again, you can say the Magic again.
they're better than both. They're definitely better than both.
I believe they are.
I
They
think,
should be.
especially with Paul George, they're definitely better than that. They're comfortably top four, maybe top three, maybe top two. I mean, that's an argument to be had. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that there's no issues with like the fit in terms of the players playing next to each other. I think that'll be fine. Like they all have pretty flexible games. Like they have games that can fit in kind of like any scheme, whatever. So I think all that's cool. But to go back to that one question you asked me a while ago, my favorite signing, low key, Chris Paul to the Spurs. That's just kind of
Oh,
fire.
that's huge. That's huge.
That's just kind of fire. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I love that because everybody knows. Get Wemby some playmakers, get Wemby a point guard, put Sohan back at the four, whatever. So they got a point guard. They have multiple point guards now. They have Chris Paul. They have
Stephen Castle.
They still have Trey Jones. They have the second rounder Juan Nunez. Like they got playmakers. Like this will be fun.
Oh shit.
I
It
don't think
is.
I don't think they're going anywhere crazy. Like I don't even know. Like they might make a 10th seed playing game. Maybe the team's still not that good, so it's kind of
I mean, we just gotta wait and see. I mean, sometimes we assume teams are not that good, and then we see the Magic in the third seed. So it's like, who knows where the Spurs team go? Hopefully, Chris Paul's hamstring is not bad. I mean, they do have 4 point guards, so
I
I
think the
mean, we could
Magic
even see Stephen Cass or fucking. I always fuck up his name. Stephon
Stephon.
Castle,
Yeah,
playing shooting guard.
yeah. I just don't think there's that much talent on this team, especially in the West. If they're in the East, it's a different conversation. But in the West,
Yeah.
it's like you're fighting demons, bro. Like you like you got a lot to get through. So to me, like I could see them going to the play-in, but it'll be a tough road regardless, and I just don't know if they're built for that yet. Especially if Castle's a project. Like if he can't shoot season one, like like they're not really good. They're probably not going anywhere. But
Yeah.
I like what they're doing, and people have mentioned Chris Paul's a great mentor.
Two
Uh,
young guys, yeah.
yeah, like to Shea. I think Shea had like huge jumps in play after his one season with Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Capella has talked about how Chris Paul helped him learn defensive adjustments, learn spacing in
Yeah.
terms of on defense. That man doesn't shoot, but yeah, like I think Chris Paul would be awesome. He can mentor Wemby, mentor Castle, everybody else on that team that's young, which is like all of them. So that's
I
like
mean,
my favorite signing. Like that's
if Chris Paul really does mentor these guys, they definitely could be a playing team or even better. I mean, who knows with that team? The
yeah.
West is the West.
West
I
is
mean,
West is too nice.
West is too nice.
People are just getting stronger
Like
over there.
we could just say the Jazz is for sure not gonna be one of those guys to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. I
They
mean,
they could make the playoffs in maybe like 6 years or some shit like that.
damn, 6 years. Oh my god.
Get Jordan Clarkson out of there. If he's not playing to win a championship, I guess keep him there.
Yeah, I mean, there's. Oh, let me. There's just too many good teams in the West. Even teams that are like borderline playing teams are still like pretty decent, pretty good. Like last year was like the Kings, it was like
Yeah,
the Lakers, like
yeah.
the Pelicans, and the Pelicans are probably, I'm not gonna guarantee it, probably gonna be better. We'll see what their team actually looks like. But that team's not. I
I
don't think they
mean,
didn't. They definitely didn't get worse. Like
don't forget the Grizzlies too. They
the
they
Grizzlies, yeah,
literally
like
were just in the playoffs 2 years ago. They just
yeah,
were terrible last year just because injuries, and Ja was on his suspension. So who
yeah.
knows?
There's just
The
I think
There's some teams gonna be out of the play-in, but
so. Only 5 teams don't make the play-in. I would put the Blazers there. I'd put the Jazz there.
100%.
Blazers, Jazz, and then you have to pick between everybody else of who's gonna make it and not make it. Like the Rockets, the Spurs. Like those are 2 teams that aren't thinking are like that great. And then you have to pick one more team from the West, like like the Warriors.
It's
I put the Warriors, but if the Warriors trade for Laurie, then maybe not. Like I don't know. Like
here. Look, I definitely think it's hard to say with the Rockets because they are the first team to ever do 41-41 as a 11th seed
yeah, I
because
mean
of the play-in.
that's what I'm saying.
Um,
That's what I'm saying. Because you have to pick 5 of these teams to not make it. I don't know. I don't think I would pick the Spurs to be one of the teams that makes it.
do you think the Clippers are gonna be better without Paul George?
I like the
I'm
team
not
they're
saying
putting.
they're not.
I like the team they're putting together. I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually like a lot of their signings.
I like
I
a lot of their
I
signs. A lot of
actually
people don't like KPJ because of the DV
okay that
situation.
that's not yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I know about
I
that. That one's
if we're talking about players being players as how they play, I like their signings.
I like even I forgot about Kevin Porter Jr. when I was saying I like their signings. I like all their other signings, but
Yeah.
like Nick Batum, I think is sick. I
Oh, he's on the
think
Clippers now.
yeah, yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't even. That's a new one for me.
I
I've
like
been trying to be Shams for you the whole time, and I'm like, oh, when I see the pick, I'm gonna send that to Jacob right away.
I mean, there's a lot going on. Like it's fine.
Like I say, fuck the money. I'm just gonna tell you, which player and how many years. That's it.
Hey,
Like,
I miss some of the ones you sent me. So I mean, hey, we're looking out for each other, bro. It's,
yeah.
it's all good. But yeah, I like Nick Batum a lot. I think he showed great stuff last postseason with the Sixers. Derek Jones Jr. I was kind of worried about because getting passes from Luca, wide to wide open corner threes, is
Yeah.
different than anywhere else. But he's
Yeah.
playing with James Harden, so I'm with it. Like I think he could still be decent enough from 3. Like obviously he's not a shooter, but he'll give him defense, corner threes. I like it, and James
Yeah.
Harden's staying. So hey, maybe Paul George was the issue. Like who knows? I mean, Kawhi's older, but he's still good. And then Harden will do what Harden does, and if he has the ball even more in his hands,
Oh,
I
wow.
actually like that. To me, Harden's never been the issue on any of his teams. I think he's never been the reason his team was bad or the reason his team failed. So, I'm a Harden fan.
Yeah.
I'm a Harden fan. So, I like what the Clippers are building, even if it means they got rid of Paul George. I mean, fuck it.
I mean, they got replacements. I mean,
Yeah. Like I said,
they got scoring from KBJ.
the
Someone who
team.
could shoot in the corners, Derek Jones Jr., and he could dunk. So if Harden wants to throw the lob, and you just see a fucking arm going out, boom,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I mean,
they got some pieces.
the team is nice. Like I like what they're building. They're getting a lot of wings, which is pretty helpful. And these are wings that can, also guard guards, so it's not like they're at a disadvantage on defense. So I'm with it. I like what they're doing. I'm curious to see what else they do. I'm curious to see what else they can do. They still have a decent amount of cap space they didn't end up going for Klay. So they still have money. So they're not done. Another big move for what do you know, a team in the West. The Thunder get Isaiah Hartenstein. They finally get the big man that everybody was begging them to get. And I like this. It's a great fit. I mean, it just gives them flexibility to actually play big if they need to. And he's just a great player. Like, I don't know what else to say.
I mean, I was looking at the depth chart for them, and I was like, damn, okay, this is the squad. The starting lineup, when I was looking at it, it's not finalized, but it does look nice, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And it it was Shy, whatever. Caruso,
Mm-hmm.
Williams,
Mm-hmm.
J-Dub, by the way.
Right.
Um, and then Chet, and then Hartenstein. I was like, oh, that's a good five.
Yeah.
And then the backcourt, you still have Lou Dort, you still have Isaiah Joe, you signed Nikola Topic too,
And Dylan Jones and
Dylan Jones, all these fucking guys. I mean, you still have the other Jalen Williams. I
yeah.
think maybe you do need a backup center, but who knows if they think about doing that. They got a bunch of wings though.
I mean, the way I see it, Hartenstein doesn't even have to start. It can be like matchup
Yeah,
dependent. Like if they just want to play small and play five out, they could still do that 100%. And if they need the size, or if Chet just needs to rest, just bring in Hartenstein. So I mean,
yeah.
they finally did. Everyone's been begging them to get a big man. That's of course everyone knows. Everyone knows that was their weakness, their size, their rebounding. They did it. They surprise, surprise. They just offered that much more money than the Knicks could. So
Speaking of news, this is not new to anybody. Just because this is the Celtics. Tatum just signed a supermax for $315. Oh, $315. Three, $315 million. There
yeah,
you go.
all right, yeah, nothing out of the blue. Derek White also signed his extension. Luke Cornett re-signed. Celtics are just staying together. You know, it's expected. So they're gonna be a threat for however many more years. Yeah.
They could go back to back. Who knows? I mean,
Hey,
shit.
I mean they're definitely the favorites at this point. But yeah. So I mean, after besides those, it's a bunch of role players that have been signed. I think the big ones have been, um, where is he? KCP going to the Magic. So the Magic are
Oh yeah,
getting
that's
some more guard play. So that's interesting.
got a ton of guards. I feel like they might start trading their guards. I feel like they should,
Hmm.
unless KCP plays. Oh, that's weird. I was thinking about the lineup and I forgot Franz Wagner is in there. I was gonna
Yeah.
say unless KCP plays the three, but then Franz Wagner's there. I don't know. The
Yeah.
lineup is gonna be like maybe Suggs, KCP, Franz,
Mm.
Paulo, and then still Wendell Carter. Uh, they got a ton of guards: Cole Anthony, Marco Fultz, Anthony Black. They got
Mm.
Gary Harris too, I believe.
Yeah.
Uh, so I know they have one more guard in there, but they have a ton of guards.
Yeah. And we're not
Uh,
going to get to every signing in this video. There's a lot. Free agency's not even done yet. So,
I mean,
uh,
I'll shout some out. Jalen Smith to the Bulls. It's huge. Jeremy, I hope you like this one. He's a young guy. He's really quick on his feet. He's athletic, kind of. Um, not a super efficient scorer, but he knows how to put the ball back in the rim.
can
I think
shoot.
he's perfect on this young team. Oh, could he shoot?
Can shoot a
Not.
three. Can shoot a three.
Could shoot threes. Oh,
Yeah.
my bad, Jalen Smith. I'm not that familiar with your game, but that's perfect for us. You're gonna be replacing Vuk. Please replace him. Hopefully the Wolves try to find a new place for Zach Lavine. As much as I do like Zach Lavine still on the team, they should still try to play him for a couple of around the season and then trade him if it's not looking too well. DeMar DeRozan still hasn't figured out what he wants to do with his life.
No, he knows.
Just kidding.
No, he knows. I was
He
gonna
knows
bring
he
it
could
up.
be in LA.
I was gonna save it for the end, but since you brought it up, we may as well. What happens with DeMar? He says he does not want to be on this team anymore.
Oh, he
He,
says that? Okay.
yeah, he does not want to be on a young rebuilding team, and it seems like that's the direction it's headed because they traded for Giddy. They Zach Levine is bound to get traded for something somehow, some way,
Yeah,
and
15, they had 15 trades that didn't go through. All declined, by the way.
yeah, I mean they're trying their hardest to find somebody to take Zach Lavine off their hands. No one is doing it. No one's doing it right now. Everyone's like, no, we don't want the contract, and like they're dealing with it right now. Like,
Well,
so
DeMar, if you plan on going to LA, go home and just be like, not like us to every other fucking team.
okay. I mean, people were talking about him going to the Magic, since they still have cap space.
They do still have cap
So
space.
it's like, they're trying to find where he could go, like what team could offer him the money that he probably deserves, because he is still one of the better players in the league. So is deserving of more than what these role players are getting. So who knows? I don't know where he's gonna go. Who knows if they're actually gonna figure something out? But that is the last big name to me, to be on the move, besides random trades. Looking at you, Laurie Markkinen. But who knows? I have no idea. His game doesn't fit super well next to other stars, but he's not good enough to be the number one star, so it's kind of tough. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. But that's really the last domino. But yeah. That's all I wanted to bring up. I was gonna bring him up at the end, but you already said his name, so.
Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully DeMar goes with LA. LeBron's still willing to take a pay cut for a star player, so.
I think that fit is terrible, though.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of 3-point shooting going on unless you rely on Austin Reeves.
Reeves, Connect, the rookie Connect, Russell. Like, is that really what we're doing?
I mean, it depends. It depends on how well it's working out. There's going to be a lot of pace and space with the Lakers, though, because DeMar DeRozan's more of a mid-range slasher type of player.
Here, let me read what my cousin Nate. Shout out to my cousin Nate. Had him on the pod once.
Nate. Hey.
I texted him yesterday, and then I asked him how he felt about Klay potentially going to the Lakers. He said, "We might as well go circus. We might as well go circus mode, bro. We ain't winning shit either way." So, I mean, and then he said he was playing, but still,
Okay.
It's still DeRozan isn't moving that needle for me, and I don't think the fit is good anyways. So, I don't know where DeRozan's going, but I hope he can just go somewhere where he can make an impact and not play for a terrible play-in team. So,
Hey, man.
what?
We were up against the Nuggets 3 quarters in and then losing the last. I mean, obviously.
Oh no, I meant. Oh, no, I meant the Bulls.
Oh,
I meant the
okay.
Bulls. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? I was like, the Nuggets. I was like, what?
Talking about the Lakers.
No. I
mean,
get you.
the Lakers for sure is another playing team. I mean,
No, but they are.
if I mean, it all depends on how LeBron feels, because it's like, oh, I got my son. Shit, I need to play way better. I want to win a chip with my son now.
Look, he's
It's gonna
already.
be a family moment. Have AD here. It's all good vibes.
He's already playing at an All NBA second team level. Like,
Yeah.
is he really gonna turn the clock back 4 years to 5 years? Like, because Bronny's on his team now? I don't think so. To me, I don't think he's capable of just rewinding time, and because like I said last year, it was the first time I've seen him like physically tired, on the court,
Because
and I
his
could tell.
team's not playing like a dog energy. Like, we saw D'Lo go against the Nuggets, like, shoot shit.
Regardless, I mean, this
Shot
team
like playing, bro. Like,
it's like the same team. Like, what's the difference? Like,
it's the same team. New coach.
it's the same team.
New coach that believes that if everyone plays their hardest, then definitely could be a championship caliber team. I mean, every team is a championship caliber team. That's only if they play hard enough to succeed, technically. But I mean, obviously the favorites are still the Timberwolves when they got huge. What do you mean? What?
They're the obvious favorites.
They're one of the obvious favorites. I mean,
You said the obvious favorite.
oh my bad. I meant to say one of the obvious favorites.
I was like, what?
It's one of the obvious favorites. Okay, to me, they're one of the obvious favorites. The Thunder's one of the obvious
Yeah.
favorites to be
Yes.
a
Yes.
top 5 seeded team. The only reason why I said the obvious, I meant to say the one of the top obvious. They got a huge pick in the first round, a lottery fucking pick. They I don't know how they went through with this trade or how the Spurs went through with this trade, but they got Rob Dillingham. That's huge because I've been saying that I feel like maybe next year they should look for another point guard. Not moving on from Mike Conley, but like a backup or just a younger guy. Just
Yeah.
and he brings in shooting too. So I mean, hopefully it translates to the league,
Hmm.
and it would help out the team more because Cat was bricking against those Mavericks games. So
Yeah. We'll talk more about that later on when we after free agency's over and we could do our team previews. We could talk about, or even after free agency's over, we could just talk about the draft some
we
more.
could. I mean, we could start grading. We could start putting people on tier lists.
Yeah, like off
How
season.
the fit looks. Yeah,
Full
off season,
full off
everything.
season recap, including the draft. But yeah. Hey, speaking of the draft, once again, if you haven't seen our draft reaction, go check that out. It was a lot of fun. But yeah,
I started cringing rewatching it and talking about the Bulls, and I was like, I hate this pick, man. I really do. I like Montas a lot. Fuck, I wanted Devin Carter.
like, hey man, it's okay. It
It's okay.
it
I mean,
happened.
it is what it is. I mean,
It was fun.
shout out to Jeremy. He was screaming Montas through my phone, so he's like,
It was a fun
in a
time.
sense, another Bulls fan really enjoyed getting the player that they wanted when I wanted more defense for the Bulls. But it's whatever. He still brings defense, just a lot of paint interior
Yeah,
defense.
yeah.
It's so
Anyways,
huge.
I think it's gonna do it for this video. One last free agency signing that I think we can all collectively love and agree on. Tobias Harris to the Pistons.
Oh,
2 years, $52
stop it.
million.
Stop it.
2 years, 52 mil for Tobias Harris to the Pistons. Now, I know
Stop.
it's easy to clown on him. I get it.
It's
No
he
longer,
what he went back to his team that he played for in his rookie year.
he's not on a max anymore, so that's automatically
I
an
mean, so
incredible
Pistons
sign.
still have money to spend on
I know,
players,
and
right?
the Pistons are gonna have to spend the money at some point, right? So it's like, it's for 2 years. It's like what the Rockets did with Fred Van Vliet and stuff. It's like, give him a 2 year deal. By the time you have to sign, your actual good young players, the money will be freed up. And honestly,
You could even say that fucking what's his name, Kate Cunningham. He signed an extension for 5 years. I
he's
don't remember how much is the
he's
money. It's
loyal.
probably 300 mil.
He's staying, I guess. Good for
It's
him.
good for him. Yeah. Lineup still okay.
Here's
I
what I'll
mean, you
say
got
though.
Duran, you got Cade, you got Ivy, you got Oster still. I mean, I guess we got a new backup Oster, which is Ron Holland. It's huge. I mean, for them in a sense. Hopefully, they're not a 20 lost team next year. And
Here's what I'll say. I think that Tobias Harris, like I said, as much as we all like to clown him because it's very funny when we do, he does bring shooting to this team, which it
he
sorely
does.
needs. And he can play the four, which this team doesn't really have. So you know what?
Yes.
Hey, if it can help, like I said, if we can just let Cade Cunningham play basketball, we might have something. If we can just give him an environment where he can play and develop with a decent enough lineup around him, I'm with it. Like that, cool. If it takes Tobias Harris on a 2 year deal, when no one's coming anyways, nobody was coming to the Pistons. You may as well just go get somebody that fills your roster needs. So
Yeah.
I'm with
Okay.
it. I think it's okay. And last thing I want to say, apparently the Pelicans shooting coach that fixed Lonzo's shot, that fixed Herb Jones's shot, and I think a couple other people, apparently he's on the Pistons now. So
What? That's huge.
so
Oster's gonna start making jump shots.
well, I'm not,
Fucking
well,
Ron
maybe
Holland's gonna start shooting the ball. That sounds amazing.
maybe. it's gonna take some work, and who
It
knows?
is. It
And he
is.
doesn't
It's
have
weird.
he doesn't have a 100% hit rate, but he does have a history of helping people that can't shoot.
I mean,
So if we are in that world where he can change and fix Asar and Ron Holland, they might have a pretty decent team on their hands. But
they
like I
might.
said, we have not seen this progress yet. We don't know how that's going to go, but it is something to keep note of. So when we
Before we end this, are you gonna keep on going? My
go
bad.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Before we end this, I want to talk about the Paris Olympics.
Oh,
Basketball wise, obviously, because I don't know
right,
too much about
right.
the other needed things. Zach Edey declined playing for the Canada team.
Oh, really? I
I
didn't know
think it would
that.
have been huge to play with the Canadians.
I didn't know
Um,
that.
Andrew Wiggins got blocked by the Warriors for some reason
Yes, I heard about that.
because of trades, and I don't know why that needs to be needed
I
unless he lives in an apartment and they already kicked him out.
I don't really.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Killian Hayes got cut from the French team for
Yes, I saw that.
some bullshit, but good luck to you, Killian Hayes. Hopefully, you could play in the NBL and find somewhere else to play. Probably China, somewhere. This, I think the Shanghai Sharks is hiring right now for new basketball players,
Yeah, that
and
apparently.
I guess the last thing I could say is back to the NBA. The Nets is trying to trade Ben Simmons, which is even harder to trade than Zach Lavine.
Yeah, I don't know who you're gonna convince to do that.
If the Bulls fucking do it for Zach Lavine, it's just insane.
That
That's the
would
only.
be hilarious.
I feel like that's the only two teams that are willing to say yes for Ben Simmons and Zach Lavine.
Uh,
So, do you want two point guards who can't shoot that can just pass the ball and rebound? Fucking go for it. That's on the Bulls.
That's disgusting.
But that's not what I want.
That's disgusting. There's no world where that happens, but it would be really funny if it did.
It's the only. That's the only trade that would make sense for both teams because that's the only
I don't
trade that
think
would work.
it does. I mean, it
It
doesn't
doesn't
make
make
sense.
sense, but it doesn't make sense, but it's the only trade that could work.
I think Bulls
For a
fans.
yes.
I think Bulls fans would run into traffic if that happened.
I don't know. Yeah, they're just gonna
I
when it
think
starts snowing, they're gonna just freeze to death.
if they don't get 3 first-round picks, I think they're running into traffic for that one.
Yeah.
But real quick, I looked it up for Zach Edey. He's like, apparently his thing is like he's committed to the Grizzlies. It's like he wants to work with the Grizzlies as much as possible. Like he wants to be there. So, which means
I
he
mean, if
wouldn't
you
be
get
able.
injured during the Olympics, you
Yeah, that's yeah.
just want to have a Chet Holmgren moment.
Yeah, he just wants to, live his dream as an NBA player, which means working with the NBA and not in Paris for Team Canada. So that's on him. I mean, cool. Live your life, bro. Like that's I got no opinion for you. Good for you. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do it for this episode. Unless you have something else, PJ.
I just wanted to know where Laurie Markkinen goes.
Yeah,
I wanna know where DeMar goes.
we are monitoring those situations when those trades happen. We will be here to talk about it. But for now, this is the beginning of the end of free agency in terms of the big names, and it was a fun time.
It was a
So
fun time. I mean, the last thing I will just bring up, you guys should just follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. The link tree is in the bio or just the description. If I see the followers go up, you might see me like Shams typing hello fast and posting on the story who goes where. That's the plan.
bro's gonna be reporting out here
I'm gonna be reporting while working in my shift.
on
If
the
I get caught
job.
up, I'm doing it for the pod
On the job, crazy,
on the job.
insane dedication. But yeah, go in the description, click all those links. There's a bunch of them. Follow us everywhere. Subscribe to us everywhere. You know the drill.
There will be more TikToks.
Yeah.
It's in the works.
TikTok's in the link tree, right?
Yeah, it should be in the link tree.
Okay. So yeah, go follow
We'll get a
everything.
Twitter up too sometime soon. Hopefully soon.
Go follow the link tree, all of it. Yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. This is free agency, and once again, thank you so much. Over 1,000 views on our last video. We appreciate y'all.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
very
much for
much.
watching. This is the Hooper Salt Podcast. I'm Jacob with my co-host PJ.
You're
We will catch you all next time. Peace out.
peace.